Alright, what's up, YouTube? So, it seems like every day, um, it's like it's getting programmed into just general society, everything that we've been talking about, everything that TIs are talking about, trying to, desperately trying to convince everybody, hey, something's coming for you. It's happening to us, and nobody wants to believe it. I don't get that. Why everybody attacks it, like what targeted individuals are saying is somehow bad or wrong for for society. I mean, just ask yourself if what we're saying is true. Don't you got some work to do? Isn't that a problem? If what we're saying is true, and if it's not, then who cares, right? Okay. That being said, every day I come across more and more credible people that are more influential people who are saying very specifically exactly what we've been saying for a long time. And here's just another example. This is Rex from Leak Project. And the title of the video is "We're Witnessing the Real Alien Invasion." And it says you need to see this, okay? So visit his page, check it out. He is the Leak Project, and he's put out a lot of good information about all kinds of different shit, all kinds of different things. But you have to have an open mind, right? But which he has a very open mind. So go to Rex's channel, check out this video for yourself if you want. I'm going to play the whole video because everything he's talking about, he's done the research. He's been doing this for a long time, very long time. I appreciate the fact that he has his channel, The Leak Project. He has a website, theleakproject.com, I think it is. Check it out. But pay attention to what he's saying. At some point in this video, he's going to talk about something in particular about what they can do with the technology that's in your house right now, that's in every house. I said this, I know this to be true because I watched a college lecture. An individual gave a lecture to a bunch of college kids back in 2018 on the capabilities of this technology. They can see what's going on inside your home, okay? They don't need a camera. They don't need to see through your eyes. They can see what's going on in any building that has a Wi-Fi router or any of these wireless devices that put off a wireless signal and has different fluctuations in power, strength. All they got to do is they have that data. They're getting that data in real time. They've already worked it out to be able to map out the inside of a building and what's going on with living organisms moving around in it, because it causes fluctuation to the Wi-Fi signal. And they've worked it out so they can literally, it's like X-ray vision. This was in a movie, The Dark Knight Rises, with Batman. Got a super top secret technology that they were working on, but he's supposed to just use it and then get rid of it, right? He's supposed to get rid of it afterwards because of the power of it, because of the danger if it got into the wrong hands, right? And it was like a sonar technology using like the Wi-Fi. I'm pretty sure that it's exactly what I'm talking about right here. It's what's in that Batman movie. But they can do this. And back in 2018, when this guy gave this lecture, I remember him stating specifically, just to give you an idea of how very accurate they have gotten it down to in 2018, 5 years ago. He said that they were, at that time, probably way before that, probably a few years before that, they could tell the difference of, now this is for beneficial purposes, for the purposes of the medical industry. He was giving examples, and he said, say, for example, in an elderly person's home, how they have those, help, I've fallen and I can't get up, those buttons, rescue buttons or whatever. Well, how about instead of them having to press a button or, relying on older technology? What if the technology was already there and there was something already built in? So he said they can tell the difference between an elderly person sitting down or falling down. And there's not much of a difference right there. The human being can barely tell the difference looking right at an elderly person if you just happen to glance at them right when they're on the way down, you know? But yeah, they can tell the difference between an elderly person if they're falling down or sitting down. They could do this for years, for nearly a decade, I'm sure. So if that's true, and that is true, you can look into it. Now they're also able to grab our brain data, right? They're also able to detect our brain data wirelessly. They're working on it all right now to roll it out to the public with Neuralink and everything else that Elon Musk is working on. So, I mean, that's really what I think that the targeting is all about. It's what it's turned into: human experimentation to work out the tweaks and all the glitches in this technology. And whoever's first to the market, runs the world basically. It becomes the richest person ever, because this is, let's face it, this is the biggest and most incredible breakthrough in technology in mankind's history to date, as far as we know. It's going to change the world as we know it, absolutely, and in a very short amount of time as well. So as soon as everybody else is allowed to use the technology. Right now, obviously, there's a lot of people using it. Like I said, they're able to take your brain data, which is, again, they can see through your eyes. Yeah, they can take your brain data, and they can take, if you're looking at something and your brain is literally rendering an image and you're thinking of what you're looking at, well, they can grab that data. They can then they can decode it or whatever and put it on a screen for somebody else to see. Your thoughts can be put on a screen for somebody else to see in real time. It's the devices around us. They're already in place. They just haven't, told you guys yet of everything that these devices can do. But the seeds are already planted, Now they can access all these seeds remotely, wirelessly. Think about it. They can transmit data from around the world almost instantaneously without any wires connected, okay? Like pictures, videos, all kinds. It's just unimaginable amounts of data. Why is it that hard to imagine that they haven't figured out the frequency of the human brain? They already knew the frequency of the human brain, but if they stumbled across a frequency where they can transmit and receive that data from the human brain, because we are transmitting, all of us. It's just a different type of signal, obviously. And this was touched on from my last video from Daniel. He's working on trying to figure this out as well, and he's come a long way. I can't wait to see what we figure out next here, or what. I'm just doing my part, spreading the information. I'm not saying that I know what's true, what's not. I'm just putting the information out there, sharing it, because the major media sure as hell isn't doing it. The people that don't want you to know this information, they're not putting that out for you. As a matter of fact, they're going above and beyond to make sure that this information sounds crazy. They don't want you to believe this, because then that takes away from their power, and it devalues the technology significantly. It's no longer a race anymore. It's like shit, If they didn't get it to patent quick enough and it's not strong enough, then a million other companies are going to come out with it. They're going to steal it all. Intellectual property theft, boo-hoo, whatever, It's technology. It's meant to be shared with everybody, with humanity as a whole. Not kept secret just so some people can use it on other people and try to play God and consider themselves up on a higher level. All right, so and unfortunately the wrong people got access to this first. And I understand why, because power corrupts. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. So the people that are in power are already corrupted. they would be the ones that got first dibs on this shit, right? And then they're going to make sure, they're going to do everything they can to make sure that they don't let this into the general public, especially people that started using it and seeing the benefits of it. Just imagine the benefits of being able to see things and know things about a person or another business, or, in the corporate and capitalist, industry and everything else. Imagine what an advantage you would have, right? In law enforcement, in everything. I mean, everything. Just imagine. Now, the regular Joe Schmo, it doesn't really have that many advantages. It could make your life a little easier, maybe, But there's a lot of things that aren't meant to be known, that aren't going to help you at all in your life. And don't ask questions that you don't want to know the answer to. So if you're just forced this knowledge or information that wouldn't be good for you if you had it, was just kind of boom, it's there. You can't avoid it, right? The information is there. Then that changes a lot of things, right? No more ignorant people, I guess, right? They'll know what the fucking guy next to him's thinking whenever they're sitting there thinking, oh my God, does he ever shut up, right? Or does this guy really think that he's the shit or something? Does he really, he's that full of himself? People, there won't be any more secrets at all. What you're thinking might as well be what you're saying. So there's a lot of fake people that put on a front. I don't do that. I've always just spoke my mind, and I wear my heart on my sleeve, so it is what it is. And I don't lie. It's easier to tell the truth. So much easier to tell the truth. Why would I lie? Please tell me, why would I lie about any of this? Any of it whatsoever. What do I have to gain? Please help me out there. Tell me, why would I lie about any of this? No, as a matter of fact, telling the truth, actually, I have a lot to lose by telling the truth. So, but it's neither here nor there. They've already tried to kill me twice. When it's my turn to die. And everything happens for a reason. I believe that 100%. And it's all about timing. So at this time, if you're not already at this point, and you're not already up to par on what I'm talking about, and you don't agree with this, you might want to back up a few steps and just shut up and say less until you know more, and pay attention to what people are saying, because you're behind. You're way behind, and you're becoming the laughing stock, the people that are going around saying, oh, that's conspiracy theory, that couldn't happen, you're crazy, you're schizophrenic. Okay, it's becoming to the point where that's not convincing anybody at all. Most people, as a matter of fact, would be like, no, he's onto something, and they'll back you up, That's what I'm seeing. It's getting to the point where there's very, very few people that aren't already, if not aware of this, they're definitely not surprised by it when they hear it. They already assume a lot of this. So, hey, wake up. It's 2023, almost 2024. Do you remember imagining what it was going to be like in 2024 when you were a kid? And, I mean, the movies were all kinds of cool shit and futuristic shit in 2015, like, look at Back to the Future. Stupid shit like that. We were going to have flying cars 20 years ago, right? Well, we kind of do. We're never going to have flying cars. We have flying, flying vehicles, but they're not cars. Cars are meant to be on the road. And they're not airplanes because they also, they're all-terrain vehicles, flying vehicles. And they have them right now. You can buy one. You can buy it. Like the Jetson. Go look it up. You can buy a Jetson. Fly around like Jane and George Jetson and Elroy, right? Rosie, Fido. Come on, you got to know the Jetsons. Anyway, I'm going to play this video and listen to what Rex is saying, because he goes a million miles a minute, but he's very passionate about it, and it's because he's done the research and he knows this stuff, okay? So pay attention. Remember, be good and be good at it. Be good or be good at it. If you're not going to be good, then you better be good at it. But when you're done with this, do the world a favor and share it. Pay it forward. If you're kind of just learning this and you agree or you disagree, have a conversation about it. Share it. Put it out there. We need to have the conversation. It's the only way we get to the truth, right? Like I said, I always say, I don't know if it's true or not. I just know what I experience. And then, when I hear other people experience the same thing, a lot more people, and then I hear about this other technology that they're on the cusp of and everything else, and then everything just starts making sense. All the puzzle pieces start lining up. It's getting to the end of the puzzle, okay? Where you can just start popping pieces in all over the place real quick. And you can see the big picture now. It's a picture of a tunnel with a light at the end of the tunnel, and it's coming. So be good or be good at it, but share this, pay it forward.
Technology appears to be assimilating the planet at a scale unprecedented. Hey everybody, I'm Rex Bear reporting to you high elevation, southern Colorado. Beautiful day today. It's about 48 degrees. Nice, crisp air. Hope you've got the lungs for it if you live out here. It takes a couple weeks to get acclimated, but that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about this interesting scenario that seems to be unfolding before our very eyes. And what is that scenario? It's a scenario of the assimilation.
We're going to restart this because there's supposed to be a video to this and it didn't show up. So I'm going to turn it up and I'm going to put it on the speaker so it comes up a little louder here, okay?
With incredible immune boosting benefits, the testimonials are amazing. Read them for yourselves. Try the 60-day challenge today. Use the code EVLP for an additional 10% off your already discounted order. Find out why everybody loves C60 from c60evo.com/Leak Project. So do you remember several weeks ago?
I'm the type that's very passionate about protecting my loved ones. With the launch of 24/7 live guard protection and the...
Me too.
Won't modify?
There
well,
we
let's
go.
push the other button for that. We've got a smart city now and full of stupid people. Additional 10% off your already discounted order. Find out why from c60evo.com/Leak Project.
All right, enjoy.
So do you remember several weeks ago the World Coin eye scanner and a metallic ball was presented to the world, and all you had to do was go have your eyes scanned to make sure that you're a real human, and then you were going to be given free crypto coins, right? And the reason is they want to make sure you're human, and they also want to make sure that you're going to get free money, because in the near future, artificial intelligence is going to take over everybody's jobs, at least so they say. And they're working on artificial general intelligence, which is even more incredible than artificial intelligence. They're building city-sized computers, literally. City brains, read all about it. Not just the CCP. We've got countries all over the world making city brains, because it's going to be a city brain fiasco. It's going to be the battle of brains in the near future. Nuclear weapons will have nothing on quantum computers that can predict the future, because quantum computers that can predict the future could stop an atomic weapon from even being created or from being detonated. Or maybe they could detonate it somewhere else because it already knows the future, and then therefore it can predict the future and reevaluate, therefore reconstruct the future. Because if you can be everywhere at once, those people that think in binary have nothing on the quantum mindset. So here we go. Eye scans. The iris. The iris is the eye, the window to the soul. So when you have your eyeball scanned, what else are they scanning? What else do they now have access to within your body? Do they have access to your soul signature? Very interesting to think about. What if they could capture your soul with a frequency and then harness the energy? 440, 432? I don't know. How about taking a digital scan of your brain and then creating a physical brain from the digital? Possible in the near future. Something I talked about years ago, and I've been talking about for years. Brains on a microchip. Well, guess what, folks? They're actually now making brains on microchips. But this is what's going to happen. People aren't going to take the implants as much as they want. They're going to get a lot of people to take implants, but not everybody. And if you have complete control, well, you have to have everybody under that control thumb, right? So instead of implanting you with a microchip, they'll turn you into the microchip. You will be turned into a microchip in the near future if you let them, based upon the practices and the trials and tribulations that they've already performed, it doesn't seem like it's going to be that difficult to assimilate you. Unless you're prepared, not scared, question everything, but don't have your mind so open that your brain falls out on the sidewalk. Or if you do, they might have a brain on a chip for you in the near future. DNA storage is now a thing. I've been blogging about this now for about 12 years. DNA storage is far superior to any other storage device available because you literally are a walking hard drive. Hello. Hope so. Because if you were a walking soft drive, that wouldn't be nearly as fun. Can I get a drum roll, please? Blockchaining reality, all movements and thoughts, everything blockchained and available for view, available for interaction with the beast, the artificial general intelligence system that will dictate your moves, what you do, where you go, what you eat, how you act, how you think, and it will pay you when you think the way that you're supposed to with a digital currency. It's real easy to look up that technology. If you want to look up a technology similar to a system that generates a cryptocurrency centralized and it pays you when you've done the task it deems you were performed to do, just look into the patent by Microsoft, WO060606A1. Yes, 3 6s. Artificial general intelligence will soon be artificial superior intelligence, depending on its core values. Now, we just read about how the CCP is creating a city computer with socialistic core values deemed necessary by the CCP, those that are creating it. And this super city brain computer artificial general intelligence system will be linked to the smart cities. So now your movements will all be dictated by the smart city brain with socialistic core values, unless you're in another smart city that has a different city brain that's designed to think, I don't know, maybe with democratic values, maybe with communistic values, maybe with technocratic values, or maybe with all of the different values combined to create its own system. I think in the near future, we could see algorithms actually deciding what laws and bills are actually created on a public level. It's already being done privately, where you have algorithms that will show the user the future outcome based upon certain scenarios. Oh, you want this bill to pass in the near future where everybody just bends over to take the microchip? Well, you need to go with this strategy. You need to implement this psychological warfare and programming into the mainstream masses in order to get this to come up within, let's say, 5 to 7 years as a scenario, as a possibility. Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all? Quantum computers are the new mirrors on the walls. The old quantum computers were actually magic mirrors that didn't need technology because you are the technology. The world is the technology. The universe is the technology of the divine. So those that are creating technology within technology is actually an inferior technology because it is subsidiary to the divine. However, it's still fascinating and people are still doing it. And hey, why not, right? What could possibly go wrong with city-sized supercomputers that can outthink everybody in that city at once, simultaneously? These city centers have virtual and physical tracking. And I realized the other day, I was told about this before, but your phone, your router, or somebody else's phone or router has technologies to receive a signal, an electromagnetic frequency. These signals can also create a virtual landscape. Any wireless technology in your house now maps your house. You can literally see what you're doing in your house without a camera in your house. All you need is Wi-Fi. Think about that. How many different computers and stereos and smart this, smart that, smart headphones, smart remote, smart fridge, smart appliances, smart cities. Well, guess what? Smart cities make stupid people. But that's what they want. Because if you're docile and if they know everything you're going to do before you do it, they have no need to worry about you. Because if you're going to go out of line, they can just push a button. Push the button. Let's modify their behavior. Oh, their behavior won't modify? Well, let's push the other button for that. We've got a smart city now and full of stupid people. Everything is tracked and digitized. We can even watch them from inside their house without a camera because all we need is a wireless signal. Look into that. Look into that. It's pretty incredible technology. So there are going to be virtual realities of everything in real time. They're watching everything and everybody in real time, blockchaining it, tracking it, future projections. They're actually also predicting what you're going to do. And they're beta testing the virtual you versus the real you. Yep. Oh, 97% accuracy on the virtual Bob? Wow, Bob, we pretty much know what you're going to do 97 out of 100 times.
Funny, right?
That's a lot. DNA encoding, future predicting using DNA. You take a sample of somebody's DNA, you put it in a quantum computer that's designed to decode that DNA, not in binary, but in quantum. Imagine how many life paths, imagine how many different reincarnation cycles it could actually predict based upon a sample of DNA. Your DNA is your hard drive. What if they have computers that can take your DNA and your blood and actually outline what you've done in previous lives and who you were in a previous life? And if that technology isn't available publicly yet, I wouldn't be surprised if they started to roll similar scenarios out within the next 10 to 20 years. Where they're like, oh, you want to know who you were in a past life? Just give us a sample of your DNA. We'll tell you about your past lives. We'll tell you about your future lives. Would you like to know that? Oh, would you like to change that? City centers, virtual physical tracking. Everything is tracked, even where cameras don't travel. Super suits. We're going to see super suits in the near future. We're going to see people that are doing wearables. We're going to see people that are doing implants, and we're going to see both. But the thing about wearables is you're going to have, the public are going to be a lot more in tune to wearables. Yeah, you've got your little niche of, you've got your little cliches, your small groups of people that are all about technology, and they'll implant 50 microchips in their body just to be cool and open doors with their minds. Yes, cool, I get it. Most people aren't going to go that route. Even if they're not religious, they're not going to go that route because they're smart and they realize the implications of putting an electronic device inside of your organic body and all of the influences that could affect that. Let's completely take out any type of mind control or negative, nefarious, clandestine conspiracy or conspiratorial ideas. Let's take all that away. What happens if there's a lightning storm? What happens if you go underneath in a major gravitational energy of some type or some magnetic energy? What happens when you go through the naked body scanners at the airport? What happens if you get an x-ray? What happens if it just breaks and you've got a broken computer in your brain? I don't know. I'll say no thank you. But look, there are people out there that need implants to function regularly. I applaud you for that. I think that that's amazing. And if you want to take an implant, that's awesome. I'm not judging you. I'm just saying personally, I would rather have a wearable that I could take off. They're getting so advanced with technology now that can pick up your brain waves and your thoughts and your emotions and the temperature of your body, the different movements and fluctuations and the way your eyes move and like these little micro gestures. Computers can pick up on all that it doesn't necessarily need to be embedded in your brain. Micro gestures are very difficult to hide. Even if you are a highly trained professional liar, like a lot of people out there in the mainstream,
Yep.
you can still watch them and they're going to slip. They're going to have micro gestures that you're going to be able to pick up on if you're, even as a human being, right? Well, now take a computer system that can calculate quadrillions of floating points per second, and it has precision to the micrometer, like to the nanometer by movements and such. It doesn't need to be in your head because it can see what's coming out of your head. It's picking up on your brain waves. They've got technologies now that can pick up what you're thinking in your head and visualize it on a screen. Sounds that you're hearing, takes those sounds and puts them through a speaker system where other people can hear them. Imagine you're thinking thoughts to yourself and it's picking up what you're thinking to yourself and blockchaining that technology. It's because they love you, folks. They want to inject you into the machine, assimilate you so that everybody can be tracked real time. One government, one bank, one system to rule them all. And then they think they're going to be allowed into this galactic federation because they got everybody underneath them to be assimilated. And so they can actually walk amongst us without worrying about us going rogue or turning into a lone wolf or a lone warrior or a group of warriors or a group of wolves that don't want to be treated like sheep anymore. I don't know.
Right?
These super suits are going to be amazing. They're going to be able to do things with these super suits that'll tap into technologies and nanotechnologies and frequency systems where they can move stuff just by thinking it. They can create by thought with nanotechnologies and frequencies. You have nanobots out there and microbots out there that are connected to a wireless system that tells them what to do. And this wireless system is a quantum city computer that has an IQ beyond the scales. It can think faster than people can comprehend. It can see everything in real time. It can see future timelines, previous timelines, current timelines, all working simultaneously together. And then you're now connected to this super city computer as one of the elites. Imagine what you could do. Imagine the ability to fly, to be invisible, to see with your entire, like all the light spectrum, not just 0.01% and then cut in half by your brain perceiving the other half. No, we're talking full light spectrum, full audio spectrum, communicating with animals and insects and trees and wildlife just via thought. Being able to communicate and travel galaxies via thought. This is technology that has been worked on for generations. And we're getting to a point now where we will see technologies unfold before our very eyes created by other technologies that are beyond most people's wildest dreams. We are reaching the singularity. And there are two forms of singularity, which is really interesting to think about, because singularity is just one. Well, I guess there's a duality in the singularity because there is a singularity of divine natural order, and there is a singularity inspired and transferred and like this artificial technology.
Yeah, it's fake.
However, this artificial technology could lead people to a spiritual evolution that could give them these abilities that would be looked at as a demigod, or as what we perceive the ancients to be like, or what we put in films as these superheroes. We will see that within 20 years, possibly even 10. We will start to see certain aspects of these superheroes within 10 years.
Probably.
Now, previous films where you've got like these androids and these robots, that you've got people that are like, well, I took off my organic arm and now I have a titanium arm. Look at how strong I am. Well, yeah, that's cool. And the advancements with nanotechnology integrated with biology, we will see an arm stronger than titanium, able to move more than titanium, able to withstand more elements and heat and cold and extremes than titanium, and it will look just like your arm, but refined and stronger and more muscular. Oh, just push a button. I want to be the size of Arnold in his prime. I want to be the size of the mountain in his prime. You'll be able to like change your entire body. You'll be able to change, because at a nano level, if these things are rewriting your DNA, you could go, I want to see what it's like to be a fly on the wall right now. This little fly on the wall. I want to be a planet. You like build up to this planet, and then you're everything within the planet, and then you can feel what it's like to be the planet, feel the air going through your trees, feel all the different animals and insects and all the different forms of life on your planet at that time. I mean, pretty fascinating. Modifying DNA from animals, insects, humans, plants, mushrooms, merging with nanotechnologies and then AGI brains. Could you imagine how easy it would be? Like if you went out of line, let's say that it gets to a point where the machine doesn't even want you to think for yourself because it deems you thinking for yourself as a threat to the whole, to the collective. By you being free, thinking for yourself, that might lead to you realizing that you're in prison and you trying to break out of that prison. So therefore it deems you a threat. So it either changes your behavior or what else?
Turn society against you.
Imagine how easy it would be, like send these nano drones. It wouldn't even have to send drones to you because it has your frequencies, it has your signatures, it knows exactly where you are. It controls the air real time. It controls all of the frequencies through the air real time. It most likely could change your behavior to where you would be another brick in the wall and you would continue to be its battery, another rechargeable battery for it, for the beast, for the system. Or you might be one of the very few that it can't assimilate. It might just observe until it deems it understands enough.
Maybe that's what's going on.
We're going to see dimension jumping, space jumping, consciousness transfer. That's going to be a trip. They're going to have machines in 10 years that allow you to transfer your consciousness to something else and allow that to transfer its consciousness to you. So maybe you want to see what it's like to be a wolf. Maybe you want to see what it's like or feel what it's like to be in the mind of a bear, to be in the mind of a lion, to be in the mind of a king cobra. Maybe you want to be an elk at 8,000 feet elevation. Maybe you want to be an ancient tree. This will be available within 7 years. I'm thinking 5 years. Maybe not publicly, but publicly, these technologies will eventually roll out. However, when they do roll out, they're going to have to have something way above that so that they can still have their edge, their advantage, their technological prowess.
Yeah.
They're going to be substantially ahead. Everything that they release to the public, they're ahead. And they feel that they have to be. In order for their agendas to unfold, they have to be ahead of the curve. They have to know what you're going to do before you do it because they can work accordingly. Otherwise, they don't have the advantage anymore of knowing what you're going to do before you do it. That's why they want to know what everybody's going to do before they do it. And most people are happily giving that to the assimilators. They're like, they love us. They don't care. Not everybody's after us. You're a conspiracy theorist. It's just to make things better. Man, they've already got you. This is nothing new. Maybe the technologies are new. They've probably been out before, cyclical, but it's new for our time, currently, in this time that we perceive consciously. So why are people so, it's got to be a defense mechanism. It's got to be genetically embedded in the minds of most people to just follow orders.
It's cognitive dissonance.
To believe, even when those that are telling them a story have lied to them in the past because they're looked at like an authority. They're looked at like the chosen because they're on the TV and they've got the, the multi-million-dollar studios and it's connected with all, it's all connected. So it's got to be, hello? Is anybody in there? I can see a little bit of spark within you, but it's clouded. It's really muddy. It's really dark down there. I can see a little bit. Come on out. Come on. Oh, yeah. Isn't that better? You're starting to think for yourself a little bit, aren't you? You're starting to question things. You're starting to question your reality. You're starting to realize that if you're watching it on the mainstream news, they want you to see that. It's weaponized. They've weaponized information for complete control. They control billions with boxes that people happily sit in front of and feed while they get indoctrinated.
And they pay for it.
And then they go regurgitate verbal vomit, basically, to other people from what they were indoctrinated with in a system that uses neurolinguistic programming and weaponized lies for agendas. Now, neurolinguistic programming is great if you use it for the right purposes.
Right.
It's all about tools. Tools could be used for amazing things, and they could also be used for very nefarious purposes. So let's take these tools that we have and use them to make the world a better place. Well, how do you make the world a better place? Well, you at least got to give people a chance to think for themselves. If people think for themselves, are they going to, if you have more knowledge and understanding, are you going to become
Schizophrenic?
more caring, or are you going to care less? Because I think a lot of people will care less. I think more will care more.
Right.
Because the human nature, from what I have seen from pretty much all cultures and peoples, we want to love and we want to be loved.
Yeah.
We like to be comfortable and we like to be happy. We like to feel good. And that's what most people want, right? Not everybody has that. But if we realize that together we can make a huge difference, individually we can make a difference. If we realize there are very powerful entities out there that use us for their own agendas, then at least we have a chance. We can say, yeah, I want to think for myself. I want to be a part of my own agenda. And my agenda is to help the world, to be good to my family and to be the best person I can be. Doesn't mean I'm always going to do it, but that's my agenda. And then their agenda is for their own power, their own control, their own hegemony. And it's kind of like an us versus them mindset. But it's like that in almost every field or whatever job you have. How many times have you been talking to a coworker and it's like you versus them? Not you versus your coworker necessarily, but like you're at work, you got people coming in, and you're in a different mindset. They're in a different mindset. Well, if we can embrace us and them and have a win-win situation, I think that's the future.
Yeah, we're just going to break down the wall.
The future is now. How do we make the world a better place? How do we help others and keep balance? How do we unlock minds so that they can help others and they're not under this contagious mindset of don't think for myself, just go to work, pay my bills, deal with my issues, and start all over again. I'm not going to think outside of the box. I'm not going to think spiritually. I'm just going to think what to do now to pay the bills. And I'm going to follow the news and I'm going to do everything the mainstream media tells me because they love me so much. And I'm not going to worry about what's in my food. I'm not going to worry about what's in my water. I'm not going to worry about sleeping next to my router and living in an area where I'm constantly being bombarded with EMF frequencies. I'm not going to worry about any of that because they love me so much and they tell me what to do on the mainstream news. And anybody that doesn't follow that is just a kook. And they're in fear. They're paranoid. They're conspiracy theorists. You need to watch the mainstream news and do what the mainstream news tells you because they love you so much. Look at how many times in the past they've tried to protect you. I mean, it's just mind control is amazing. It is amazing how well the mainstream media mind control mafia manipulates the masses. It's amazing. It is absolutely incredible. And The best way to break free from that is to do the 30-day challenge. And then it'll be 60 days, and then 90 days, and then 120 days, and then a year, and then 2 years, and then 3 years. And what is that challenge? Stay off the mainstream news. It's just going to piss you off. The majority of the mainstream news comes from the AP anyway, and then they just have their own spin on it. Like, the only time I watch the news is when I'm on the road. I'm in a hotel. I'll turn on the TV for a couple minutes, and you've got your main news channels. And I'll watch it for a couple of minutes, and I'll be like, why am I doing this? This is just pissing me off. It's just making me mad. It's not making me feel any better. It's not making a change. I'm not going to make a change after watching this, except for telling people how ridiculous it is. I mean, folks, do you really think that you know what's going on? If you're like, people are like, well, I really want to know what's going on. So I watch Fox and CNN and MSNBC. I watch it all. It's the same crap. It's just a different spin. Like, if you really want to break out of the matrix, the best way to break out of the matrix, learn how to hunt your own food. Learn how to gather your own food. Learn how to make your own food and prepare it and put it away and clean it. Learn how to live off the land. Learn how to build a shelter. Learn how to filter water. Learn how to think for yourself. Learn how to, be creative. See something and understand it. Don't be so easy to judge. Like, first of all, I can say the mainstream news is, for me, absolutely ridiculous, but I'm not judging it. I'm not like, oh, you watch mainstream media, so you're evil, or oh, you watch this, so you're evil, or you're... No, big deal. You do what you're going to do. I can observe without judging. And if you can observe without judging, you might have an advantage as well. You might have an opportunity to take that observation and learn from it and not feed it. Like, how many people are constantly observing the dark side and they're feeding the dark side through their own energy? And then it's like you get a rush when you hear about these things that are going on that are just horrific. Like, it stimulates your brain somehow. You're like, oh man, this is going on. I got to tell everybody about it now. Like, there's that fine line. Yes, good to be prepared. Yes, it's good to know what's going on. I mean, if I walk into a room that's full of poisonous fumes, it's going to be pretty bad, right? So if I know that those poisonous fumes are there, I can decide whether to go in or not. Like, dude, there's a gold bar in that room. You can hurry and get it and get out of there. Or just don't do it. I'm just going to avoid it because you might not make it to the gold bar, even if you've got the right equipment on. I'll just leave it there and I'll go the other way. I'm not going to judge it. It just is. I'm not going to judge a venomous snake for being a venomous snake. That's what it is. I know that's what it is, and I can decide to go somewhere else. Like, I've had dreams where I've been invited to like these rituals before, and I've, like, when I realized I was there, I didn't judge. I was just like, oh, I gotta go, and I'm out of there. So it's like one of those things that if we aren't a duality, and if there needs to be a duality to have reality, then I'm going to do my best to perceive, not judge, and be the change I want to see. And I hope you do too. Thank you for watching. Check us out on Patreon. So we've got exclusive content on there. Oh yeah, and I tell you could sign up for like $1. So it's the thought that counts.
So,
with Asana, it's easy to monitor projects across.
So like I said, it is what it is. And it's obviously, it's getting pretty obvious what everybody's saying that may have been hard to believe Even a couple years ago, I would have thought a lot of this is totally off the wall, hard to believe. But I can't stress enough how important it is that you open your mind up and just allow the possibility that what you might not believe and what you think is crazy, just allow yourself the thought that it could be possible. And only then can you do what needs to be done to to protect against the nefarious shit, and to be able to see what's coming, so you're not walking down the highway against traffic with a blindfold on. So with that being said, be good or be good at it.